Calaroga Shark Media.
Should I even bother? Did you hear Taylor Swift got engaged to Travis Kelce? I mean, is anybody going to care about anything else for the next year and a half? Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Got kind of a big story brewing here. At the end of yesterday's podcast, I mentioned that comedian Reggie Carroll had been shot dead at age 52. This seems to be bubbling up now. I saw several stories about it that caught my eye. The first one from Fox 13. They're reporting that a company that bills itself as the official site for Katt Williams merchandise was evicted following the death of Reginald Carroll. As I understand things, Fox 13 went over to visit Burton Lane, the location. They found a letter titled 14-Day Notice to Quit for Criminal Activity. The letter states, according to the report, you are being given this notice due to criminal activity that occurred on or about the premises in violation of your lease agreement, specifically on August 20th, 2025. The following criminal activity occurred. It then cites a shooting where an arrest was made by South Haven police officers. The online store for the location sells Katt Williams merch and displays a picture of Katt Williams on its website. The website reads, "The Onyx Owl clothing line was designed for and by the urban street celebrities and famous creatives who appreciate fashion that reflects their lifestyle. With a focus on style and quality, the Onyx clothing line provides trendy, celebrity-approved clothing for men and women of all races. From stylish t-shirts to hats and accessories, the Onyx Owl clothing line is sure to have something for everyone." This next piece of the puzzle I found on a website, Delta News, and the internet tells me Delta News is a broadcasting platform that provides local news coverage and updates for the Greenville, Mississippi area. According to that report, Carroll was traveling on Katt Williams' current Heaven on Earth comedy tour. 3 independent sources tell Fox 13 that the man accused of killing Carroll was on the tour as security. And then from Vibe.com, comedian Billy Sorrells has called out Katt Williams and is asking Katt Williams to speak out. Sorrells apparently said, and I may have to paraphrase a little bit here for language, "We're not going to act like Katt. You ain't know who Reggie Carroll was? Katt Williams, you're the truth teller. You're the master of being able to tell everybody else this stuff. You God of War, you ready for anything, right? You the guy, you said my team versus whoever else." I did try and find the audio for this, and I didn't find anything that I was convinced is the accurate audio. I've seen several reports of this transcript that I'm reading you. Apparently, Mr. Sorrells continued, "Well, I know you love Reggie. We all did. Reggie was a solid fella. He didn't pick sides. So, Katt Williams, tell me why Reggie Carroll died outside your house. Tell us what happened to Reggie Carroll, Katt." Again, I tried to find the audio. Anything I'm finding has people talking over stills and commenting on it. So let's keep an eye on that story. It looks like that one's going to bubble up. What I thought would be the lead today, Devon Walker has announced he's no longer with SNL. He shared the news on Instagram. He apparently has mixed feelings. On one slide of the post, a screenshot of a note wrote, "Me and the show did 3 years together, and sometimes it was really cool. Sometimes it was toxic as hell. But we made the most of what it was. Even amidst all the dysfunction, we made an effed up little family. It is unclear whose choice it was for him to leave the show. At the top of the computer, a note says, wait, did he quit or did he get fired?" So Walker's having a little fun with that. Walker also shared a screenshot of him texting someone with the words, "I'm out," paired with an emoji of a face wearing a party hat, and a photo of Joe Biden appearing to trip on a staircase. Walker captioned the photos, "Me and baby broke up." His full statement, "To me, jobs in the industry feel like a bunch of little marriages. Some of them last a long time if we're lucky, but most of them are fleeting, permanent until they're not. That's the deal. You know what it is when you sign up. Me and the show did 3 years together, and sometimes it was really cool. Sometimes it was toxic as hell, but we made the most of what it was and missed all the dysfunction. We made an effed up little family. More than anything, just really happy I got to do it with Gary and Alex. Fellas really went from running a bar show to working together at 30 Rock. It's a beautiful thing. And I look caked up in that picture, and I feel like it's important for people to know what I got going on. Anyway, I'm about to go to Japan. When I get back, I'm going to try and be in a prestige drama, ideally something with Julianne Moore. Hope you all staying hydrated and getting some money today." That's pretty interesting. If I had to guess, if you made me guess, sounds like he was disinvited. Rosebud Baker, who's been a writer on the program, she is leaving the writing staff after 4 years. LateNighter.com, they were trying to take the week off, and it's not working for them. I'm going to guess between me recording this and you hearing this that there are going to be a bunch more departures. It sounds like the folks are abandoning ship, and my take, after SNL 50, that is the time to get out. So Late Nighter says an insider told them that cast member Michael Longfellow and SNL writer Casey Chernima taped a screen test at the update desk last May. At that time, Jost and Che were widely presumed to be leaving SNL. Many thought they would announce it on the season finale. They did not announce such a thing. Lorne Michaels recently has said that SNL 51 would be bringing a lot of changes and a reinvention. Casey Chernima has been writing on Weekend Update for 3 years. Prior to that, she was a new face at Just for Laughs in 2022. She also wrote for Stephen Colbert's Tuning Out the News. Is Colin Jost coming back? Well, he does have a gig. This is also from Late Nighter. He will be hosting the T-Mobile Breakfast at Bethpage, a live pregame show from the first tee at the Ryder Cup. September 26th through the 28th, it is billed as an alternative pregame show. Peyton Manning's Omaha Productions is behind this thing. It will stream on Peacock. More SNL news. Beck Bennett said he was nervous to parody Vladimir Putin on SNL. Beck was on David Spade and Dana Carvey's podcast. Spade asked him, were you scared they'd be after you? Bennett said, oh, yeah. And he said a clip of his Putin impression was on Russian TV at one point. And I was like, he knows about it. At the same time, I'm like, it's silly that I get nervous. He'd never come for me. That'd be stupid, even if he wanted to. There was definitely a couple of moments like, should I be doing this? Is this weird? He's known for poisoning. Beck pointed out that he did a deep voice for the character and that the man's real voice is higher. Bennett enjoyed doing Putin as a macho caricature and explained that you don't have to do an exact impression, just capture the essence and have fun with it. Oh, yeah, we're this far into the show. I didn't even get to Marc Maron yet. He was on Pod Save America. It was really good. I saw a thread. Someone posted their favorite podcast right now is Marc Maron going on everyone else's podcast and asked if we could have that in one big feed. I think that's a great idea. I talked yesterday about how Maron had called out Bill Maher. Maron also took a shot at Netflix. They're in business with Dave Chappelle. Maron said, fascism is good for business. Netflix, they'll co-opt anybody that could take that algorithm. I used to do a joke about it. Netflix can become Reichflix very quickly. When they had pushed back from the trans community about Chappelle, they realized after several days that community wasn't going to affect their bottom line at all, and they cut them loose. That's how fascism works in business. John Lovett pointed out that Netflix has lots of LGBTQ plus content. Maron said, but ultimately, who's getting the big deals? Which shows stay on the air? What do they keep repeating? That's them saying, we got this other stuff. We know there's a few of you, but we're throwing you a bone, so shut up. Boy, we are at peak Maron right now. His special was great. I love outspoken Maron. He's landed on the new continent, and he's burning the bridges, and he's leaving the podcast behind, and he just burned the bridge with Netflix. This is very, very entertaining. We got to talk about that guy, Jay Leno. The worst guy that ever lived, that guy? Apparently, he's helping Harrison Ford build a toilet seat. I know that sounds like something I just made up to be funny, but no. Harrison Ford was on NPR and said Jay Leno has 3D printers. And I had this toilet seat from a toilet that's not in production anymore, and the toilet seat had discolored in a way that's really unattractive. There's an image. I can't find the toilet seat anywhere. I tried for years, and I'm sitting around one day saying, can I 3D print this? Jay Leno. Harrison Ford said he first learned about 3D printing from Jay Leno showing him around his garage. Harrison Ford says of the worst person who ever lived, he embraced the project in a way that I never could have imagined. Good news for fans of dramatic actor Adam Sandler. As you know, he's a fantastic dramatic actor. Well, he's got that upcoming movie Jay Kelly where he co-stars with George Clooney. It's coming out even earlier than expected. Isn't that exciting? Jay Kelly has been confirmed as the Cunard Gala of this year's BFI London Film Festival. That runs from October 8th through the 19th in London. And festival venues across the UK. Jay Kelly will premiere Friday, October 10th. The movie follows famous movie actor Jay Kelly, played by George Clooney, and his devoted manager Ron, played by dramatic actor Adam Sandler, as they embark on a whirlwind and unexpectedly profound journey through Europe. Along the way, both men are forced to confront the choices they've made, their relationships with their loved ones, and the legacies they leave behind. That's exciting. Deli Boys renewed for season 2 at Hulu. That is a fun show if you haven't seen that. Fred Armisen joining the cast. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Fred Armisen's character is described as a legendary gambling savant with an uncanny ability to read people like cards. His casino empire is global, but his crown jewels in Philly. He's uniquely brilliant and deeply unhinged. A deadly combo if you cross him. My struggle with Fred Armisen is Fred Armisen always comes across as Fred Armisen in roles. Hopefully he can surprise me. Sharon Stone has a dream role. She says she wants to play Phyllis Diller very, very badly. She and I were close friends. Phyllis made little paintings for all my kids. She cooked me dinner a lot of times. The woman could cook. I told her I wanted to play her, and she sat down and taught me her laugh. She made me practice her laugh. I would watch that. And from The Independent, David Mitchell from Mitchell and Webb says the term mansplaining is unfair. He told the Sunday Times, I'll come back to The Independent, stay with me, but Mitchell told the Sunday Times, I feel like there's an unfairness to the term mansplaining, which is taken to be men explaining things in a boring way to women because they do it to each other and then they take turns. That's what men call a conversation. Then the article in The Independent ends with, mansplaining is a phrase used to describe men explaining something to a woman. Is The Independent being deliberately hilarious there, or are they completely clueless? That is my question for you, and that is your comedy news for today. See you tomorrow.